Sponsored by Sprite. It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the NBA on 2K Sports. I'm Ernie Johnson, joined by Shaquille O'Neal. Tonight, we'll see the Golden State Warriors as they play against the Indiana Pacers. For Indiana, they've taken a turn for the worse in their recent games, and even though it's still early in the season, they can't be happy with the direction they're headed. Hey, Shaq, let's talk about Paul George. In the first half of last season, folks were running him up the flagpole saying, you know, this guy might be top 3, top 5 among players in the NBA. Where do you think he stands right now?
Well, he's in the top 10, and, you know, a lot of that is attributed to working with Coach B. Shaw. He learned the habits and techniques of his childhood idol, Kobe Bryant.
He soaked it all up and has put it to use, hasn't he?
He's a heck of a player right now, but not top 5, but definitely top 10.
Just about game time. Let's go out to Kevin Harlan.
On the road and hungry for a win against an Eastern Conference rival, the Indiana Pacers are ready to go. Welcome to what should be a great Saturday night for the NBA. With Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan. And, of course, Eric Bledsoe. He's still out of the lineup.
Well, with him being sidelined, it's going to take some creative work by this coaching staff to keep the ship afloat. I mean, they just can't roll the ball out there and let him play. Not without him. They've got to make some significant adjustments.
Yeah, they've got to figure out which combinations of players are looking good for them. They may have to add a couple of sets, you know, to diversify the offense a little bit. But look, this is life in the NBA. Injuries happen. You have to respond as a team. And we'll see how this club handles it.
Let's check out Indiana's starting lineup. Smart is out there with Victor Oladipo. Then it's Paul George. Then it's Garnett. And it's Bynum in at the center. And George kicks to Bynum. Oladipo sets the screen for Bynum, and he uses the glass on the layup.
Well, I tell you, the Warriors are really a team with gifted passers, especially in the front court. Somewhat surprising that they were only in the middle of the pack in assists last season and one of the worst teams when it comes to turnovers.
Now here's Payton. He's coming off a 10-point game against Toronto.
He was exquisite in that game, Kevin. It wasn't just the scoring, it was the passing, too. And his teammates, you could tell, were just really enjoying playing with him.
And that one's good. And one reason why the Warriors' assists might not rank that high, they did run a lot of post-ups and isolations.
They did. They like to attack on the block and off the dribble. Ball movement wasn't always particularly effective, but you know, it seemed to me that the Warriors were at their best when the ball was flying around the perimeter.
Clock at 6. Left side, George. No good.
Usually if he gets to the rim, he's converting it into points. But the defense stood tall there.
Passes it to Allen. Kicks to McRoberts. Shot from 12. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot. The Warriors shooting their first free throws of the game on this trip to the line. That free throw, no good. A lot of positive, Steve, for the Pacers last year and how they started the season. And, you know, Clark, you saw this firsthand every night, dominating early, but they did have a falling off point.
Yeah, after the All-Star break, they went from looking unbeatable to looking like just another team, but they were able to gather themselves just in time and make a deep playoff run.
And he's good on the second.
You know, with the Pacers, although they didn't end the regular season as they might have wanted to, they were still able to rest a number of players down the stretch and prepare for their playoff run, which ended up with the conference finals again.
Now here's Bynum. He's coming off a 16-point game against Denver.
Great work getting in the shooter's face and then getting back to the boards to grab the rebound.
And it's Allen slamming it down. An indication there of why the scoreboard looks like it does. Very passive defense.
But the finish was anything but passive.
No, he hammered that down, Clark. Superb above the rim action.
Here's Smart. Ray Allen picking up that last basket. Now Oladipo. Tries from 10. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
Well, the Pacers were running away with the Eastern Conference last year, and I think they took their foot off the gas pedal a little bit in the second half of the year. They struggled at times, made some moves, but ultimately righted the ship and made a deep playoff run.
That free throw good from Oladipo.
Victor Oladipo played for the same college coach as Dwayne Wade, and their games actually draw some comparisons. Both are 6'4", strong, huge wingspans, and explosive athletes with that ball handling ability. I think Oladipo has a great future.
Both good from the line that time. And Oladipo, an all-around player. He can rebound, pass, and he can defend, even block shots.
Yeah, and again, you see the parallels with Dwayne Wade, although not as tall and not quite as long as Wade. His charisma and passion, though, remind you a bit of Dwayne Wade in terms of his game. And I like his name, too, Oladipo. That's a nice basketball name. You can do a lot with that when he gets going.
A little rhythm, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Here comes Oladipo.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Now here's Smart. Pass to Oladipo.
Well, quite an interesting upbringing for Victor Oladipo. His mother and father immigrated from Nigeria. They ingrained a great work ethic in their children, but his father in particular didn't really approve of his son's focus on basketball. But Victor was undeterred.
And Oladipo, growing up the only son among 4 children with a strict, somewhat distant father. In a lot of ways, his coaches and teammates became a kind of second family, and he latched onto his coaches for guidance.
And the story goes that Oladipo, in his sophomore year in high school, broke his foot. And Clark, rather than stay home, he went to practices and ran the scoreboard, even swept the gym, I'm told.
Yeah, he said he didn't want the coaches to forget about him, Kevin. Just a true gym rat mentality, and that's part of the reason he's played as well as he has in the NBA.
Good on the second free throw. Well, you wondered how things would go for the Pacers after they had a hiccup midseason. Had to call players only meeting.
And did so very close to the playoffs, Kevin. This team struggled because of its youth in handling the extra scrutiny and the burden of expectations, and it took them a while to kind of figure it out, and weren't quite as good as they wanted to be during the playoffs.
Now here's Bynum. Sinks that one from the post. The Warriors have gone 3 of 5 shooting the ball so far. Payton outside. Up off the screen. Antetokounmpo. And, there's a whistle. He was going up for a layup, and while it looked like there was some contact, I wasn't sure they were going to call it a foul shot or not, but sure enough they have. So he'll head to the free throw line. The Warriors have converted 1 of 2 free throws so far today. That free throw, no good. Parker's checked in for Indiana. He hits the second from the line. And here are the Pacers now, trailing by 2. They're moving on after the tough loss they took at the hands of the Nuggets.
Guys, given their performance in that game, which was less than pretty, by the way, I had a hard time believing it wound up as close as it did.
Likewise, I feel the same way, Steve. I mean, when it was coming down the stretch, I was thinking, how in the heck are they still in this game? You got to be kidding me. You got the sense that it was never going to be their night.
And so here is Golden State. This their first chance this season playing the Pacers.
Well, we saw how competitive and entertaining the season series was between these two teams last year. That was fun to watch.
Oladipo with the ball.
Oh, get it! Oh, watch out now.
Nasty. Absolutely filthy.
And the building is stunned, partner. He dug deep into his bag of tricks there.
I hope he keeps that one handy. I want to see that again.
Here's Dang. He's coming off a 16-point game against Toronto.
And his work on the glass, certainly noteworthy. I mean, he contributed in a number of ways.
Indiana trailing here. Inside, it's tipped. Oladipo, good. Oladipo's got 5 now.
They are really doing a nice job establishing a presence inside early.
That's going to open things up for them on the perimeter going forward, Clark.
Here is Nick Roberts, covered by Parker. Antetokounmpo kicks to Allen. Misses off the left iron.
There's no getting around the simple fact that that's a shot he has to knock down.
Some nice passing here by Indiana. Garnett, the screen. Parker dishes to George. Puts up a 3. Ray Allen pulls it in. Last outing for Golden State, it was a loss to the Raptors in Toronto.
I thought overall, Kevin, it was mostly the defensive effort that hurt them. Just no energy, no purpose.
Steve, I thought they were late on their rotations. They didn't really communicate well, and as a result, they paid for it.
He used that pick to get in close. Allen's got 9 points. So the Pacers call timeout, their first of the game.
Ray Allen, the all-time leader in three-point field goals. And I'll tell you what, his shooting stroke, so admired throughout his career, but it's a combination of the consistency of his effort and the purity of that stroke. And a chance here to check out some stats on Marcus Smart. How this season has been coming along for him, averaging about 11 points, 4 assists, and 4 rebounds. And some pretty good numbers, I think, guys, when you look overall at his contributions.
Yeah, and he's always looking to raise his game, and that's what you see in his consistency. One of the important characteristics that he brings to the table.
Pacers have gone 50% from the field to this point, 4 of 8. And Ray Allen, the former 5th pick overall back in 1996, a 10-time All-Star over the course of his career, gold medalist and a multiple NBA champion.
Yeah, I think people forget how good Ray Allen was as an all-around scoring player early in his career. Not to mention a pretty good performance on the silver screen early in his career as well. He's still known as Jesus Shuttlesworth. Certainly, that name is worthy of reverence.
It is, and I like the way you kind of pulled that out of your bag of tricks there, Clark. You've done your homework again.
Always.
Again. And that one's good.
He continues to fill it up. Just one miss in his 6 attempts.
Pacers trail by 5. Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time getting the lid off the basket so far.
George. And count the basket. He was fouled, and he's going to the line for one more.
It's got to be nice for them to know that game in and game out, his offense is going to be there for him.
And the Warriors with a completely new 5 on the floor. Indiana also making some changes. Vonleh comes in for Kevin Garnett. And Lance Stevenson subbed in for Victor Oladipo.
The Warriors, one of the top defensive teams in the league the last couple of seasons, and the improvement coincided with a change in defensive strategy. They're sending pick and rolls down towards the sideline. They've got bigs. Andrew Bogut can really protect the rim. So they're doing what coaches call shrinking the floor, and it's been very effective for them.
Now here's Wiggins. 29 points for him last game against the Raptors in Toronto.
You know, he was getting fouled time and again in that game, really delivering from the free throw line. Made a major contribution there.
Now here's Stevenson. Following the miss by Andrew Wiggins. Terry against Stevenson. Parker passes to Stevenson. 4 on the shot clock. And here's George for 3. Good on the shot. George has got his second bucket tonight. And downing a pick and roll. Basically, a guard gives the ball handler a lane towards the basket, but prevents them from using the screen.
I like your basketball knowledge and
listening.
acumen.
See, I've been listening to you.
That's exactly right. The big man sits back around the free throw line to deny penetration. It's a strategy that basically concedes the deep two, another indication of where analytics coming into play in terms of strategy.
And that one's good. And it's a 4-point Pacer lead.
How in the world did they let him get that wide open?
Golden State's gone 2 or 3 from deep so far in this game. Now a timeout called by Golden State. And as with any timeout at this point of the game, important to go over the strategies that are working and those that are needed in terms of adjustments. And, of course, the opportunity, guys, to get hydrated with Gatorade before coming back out of the floor. We've seen some good action so far, and there's more of it to come.
Yeah, this game has been physical, it's been fast, it's been high-paced. So anytime you're in a situation like this where it's really a hard-fought game, critical to keep yourself hydrated throughout.
Catching up on the changes now for Indiana. Carter comes in for George. Nash is subbed in for Smart. Here's Harris. Sinks the three-pointer. Harris has got his first 3 points of the game.
The defense sagged off, and, he did not hesitate to rise up and bury that three.
Nash against Terry. Nash outside. He dishes it to Carter. It's Nash with the drive. Here's Parker. The Warriors pull it in.
Pretty good defense there. I mean, that's a shot that he can make, but they really challenged him.
Terry outside. He kicks it to Harris. Now here's Wiggins. Covered by Parker. And it's Wiggins missing.
Well, the shot was there for him, and he had to take it. I don't care if he didn't convert it. He's got to take that every time.
Nash with it. Guarded now by Jason Terry. Stevenson kicks to Vonleh. And Stevenson, the bucket on the assist by Vonleh. Stevenson's got his first 2 points of the night. Warriors trail by 3. Terry dishes to Moniunas. 1:35 left in the first quarter. To the middle, 6 on the shot clock. Stevenson outside. Now the pass to Parker. Nash with the screen for Parker. In close. Parker with another miss. The Warriors have gone 7 of 15 from the field to this point. Terry with a screen on Carter. Harris outside. Moniunas with it. He's against Parker. Fires the three. It's rebounded by Stevenson. And it's Indiana's ball. They're on an 11-3 run right now. Nash with it. Guarded now by Jason Terry. Nash kicks to Stevenson. And Lance Stevenson picks up the foul. That's his first foul.
What a great play. Sacrifice his body and take the hit.
Yeah, I thought that was excellent awareness and anticipation to beat him to the spot there.
35 seconds left in the first quarter. Terry kicks to Moniunas. Back to Terry. They set the pick. In the corner, it's Harris. Just 5 on the clock. Moniunas with it. He's against Parker. Moniunas' shot is good. Now Nash. He hasn't scored yet. That I'm sure will change. And that's going to be too many steps. Gets the whistle on the travel. Here's Terry. Shot is off. So at the end of one quarter of play, still a close game. Pacers lead by 1. And we'll be back in just a moment with the start of the second quarter.